Hello.
Is Keren, Nuneka, and Tiffany, and we're really
Hello.
excited to be here. We're gonna hi Alexandra, hi Susan, hi Cheryl. We're just waiting for people to kind of log in. This is exciting because we're trying to talk about an exciting topic.
Hi, everyone.
Sorry.
Hello. Girls. Nuneka and Tiffany, and we're
Oh, sorry, I have an echo because I haven't turned that off. Sorry. And it's gonna hear. Oh no, it's not me. Somebody has to turn their. Is it me? Was it me?
No,
It's not me. I have headphones in.
All right, so there we go. So that works well. Okay, I turned it off.
Yeah. So I was wondering if you could share this in your Facebook. Click the share button because we changed the scheduled video and maybe people is a little lost. So it would be fantastic if you could share this video now.
Yeah, please share if you don't mind with just share with the share button because yeah, I made a mistake on how I set this up, which was silly of myself because I didn't use the StreamYard and then I'm like, oh, I should have done that. But okay. So I'm glad, well, some of you are here and we'll get started and people miss some questions. I mean, it will be, but what we want to talk about today is something that a lot of people have been asking in social media, especially on Facebook, and it's about design teams. The three of us have been on quite a few design teams over the years. So, I mean, we're not experts in anything, and I want to say that ahead of time. Truly, we're not experts, but we do have experience. We've been through quite a few different types of design teams, and that has helped kind of shape our creative journey. But at the same time, it's like helped us, and we've helped other people as well. And we wanted to kind of answer all your questions. And the first thing we're going to do is we posted this on Facebook, and we got a few questions from people. Hola, hi Kanika, and and Michelle, sorry, and we put these questions on Facebook, and we are going to first answer those questions. We're also going to generally talk about things. If there is a question for you that you want to specifically get answered, just write it, put it in the comments, or at the point where we ask you for questions, if we haven't covered everything we've spoken about. Everything we are going to talk about. And if I do catch a question, I will write it down. I have a list and we can start. We'll take turns answering unless somebody wants to say something specific. Oh, hi, Karen. So yeah, so we can start. But let's maybe give a little bit of a general sense before we actually start the question, because the first question is not specific. It's very specific, and I'm thinking maybe go in a general sense. So let's go with one of maybe one of you wants to talk about just the general design teams, what it is and how it works. Anybody?
I think that's a very loaded question because
I'll ask one of the so I'll ask one of the questions. So let me put it in the thing here so then people can. This is from Facebook, okay? I'm gonna put it in the chat and then kind of highlight it. So that way, do I just press it? What do I do with it? How do I make it how do I highlight that one?
If you click in the question, there is a plus. You click it and it goes to the screen.
A plus? Oh, yeah. I'm in the wrong.
StreamYard.
No, sorry, I'm in the wrong. Sorry, yes, I am in the wrong thing. Okay.
Right.
So read to
We're still learning StreamYard.
Yeah. So what's the requirements for the DT post, design team post? So there we go. So that's a good question. And I guess we'll translate into Spanish. There's a couple of people if you want, unless specifically Mars speaks Spanish. I don't know if she does.
I think Mars speaks English. I don't know if there is any other Spaniard today.
Okay, so anybody wants to answer what's the requirement for DT posts? That's a very general question, but
yeah, it's too general. I mean, well, every team is different.
Yeah. Maybe we should. So a design team means first, I think maybe we should have answered that in just a very general, one sentence thing. Yeah. A design team is a company or a store They put together a team of people that they want to promote their products, and what the requirements and everything like that differs between company and store and all of that sort of thing. So maybe just in case people are new to crafting and they don't know what a design team is.
So what it is like a company will send you products, and the amount of product differs between between companies.
Mm-hmm.
They expect you in return to create projects with those products. You get those products at no cost, but you're supposed to create different posts or projects with those products. And so this comes to every requirement is different. Some people want 3, some people want 5, some people want a video, some people don't want a video. It all depends on the company. It's very hard to know, and that's usually listed in the rules in the when you are applying to design teams, so you know in advance what's required of you. And it also depends on how much product they send you. Like sometimes they'll send you product for 6 months, but you're only required to do, let's say, a video for one video in 6 months. Sometimes a video per month. Sometimes you're hired just for creating videos, but most of the time it's unpaid. So you're just, the only way they pay you is through products. So if that makes sense.
99.99999% it's unpaid.
Oh, exactly. So this is actually one of the questions that somebody asked.
I don't think it's unpaid. I think we are very optimistic when we enter into a design team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we think it's all going to be rainbows and butterflies. And sometimes the truth is that it is not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, that was supposed to be wrong for all these years.
Being in design teams is fantastic. They send you products, but you have to be clear. You have to keep in mind that they expect you to do a job. This is a job. You are an instrument. You are the publicity of this brand or this store, and they are paying you with products.
Yeah.
So it's not like they send you products so you can play at home and do whatever you want. No, they expect you to do a job, and you have to do it. And that sometimes is not easy because you always receive not so good products, or it's not easy when you have to use third-time products to make a project instead of what you want. So there are pros and cons, and you have to find the balance, I guess.
Yeah, I find.
And sometimes sorry, go ahead, Keren.
You go ahead.
Sometimes well, I guess when you're starting out, being on a design team, like if you're just getting into crafting and learning that these companies have design teams and you yourself are inspired by them, and sorry, I had to take my earpiece out. I feel like I'm talking really loud. Then I think when I started out, I immediately learned about companies or stores or whatever having design teams and wanting to be on one because I wanted to inspire people as well. Mm-hmm. And then I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, so you have to really think about, is this store or is this company somebody that I like? Because realistically, you're not going to like everything that the company comes out with that it inspires you like that. Like some things we see and we're like, oh, can't wait to play with that. I can't wait to play with that. That's not realistic for every company. Although you may like most of their things, it's probably going to be somewhere along the line where you're going to have to work with something that you're not so fond of. So you have to really play that out. Like, do you just want to be on a design team just to be on a design team? Or do you really love this product or the products that this store carries or whatever truly, and you really are inspired to play with everything that they offer? I hope that I'm probably getting off topic, but
no, I think everything's related. So
yeah, it's related. So that is a question actually that Susan asked, and I have it written down what you just said.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying, like, it's definitely, I think we're covering a lot of we're going to be covering a lot of topics that way. Mm-hmm. And I think you're right. I think people don't know what the expectations are. They think it's like all fun and games. And I think like once, and then they get overwhelmed when they actually have to be on it, which is
Yeah.
another topic that I wanted to talk about as well. But one of them is like going back to that other thing you said about like being paid. It says, after all these years, do you think companies should start paying design team members with money? And this is somebody from online. And
I know her. Danica.
yeah, so the question is, what do you guys think about that? Like, I mean, it's a very controversial thing because everybody wants to be paid, right? You don't want to do things for free. And yeah, realistically, I would love that companies would pay you at least a nominal fee for creating videos and things like that are more involved.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen? It's never going to happen until people start wanting to work for free.
Exactly.
But also, go ahead. Sorry.
No.
I'm sure you had more to say, Nuneka or Keren.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You go.
I think for like a smaller Etsy shop or like a company that I know a lot of stamp companies that they're like a one-person show. They ship, pack everything themselves. I think it's unrealistic maybe for them to say like, oh, we should be paid. I don't think it's like should be every company should pay, but I think maybe some of the bigger companies, especially if they're wanting designers to do 2, 3, 4 videos a month, and then they're sending product, which product is great, but it only gets you so far, and sometimes we have to work through times when we feel uninspired because we are committed to those design teams and we have to put out things. So I think in general, I think it depends maybe on each company or store if they should pay their designers and also what they're wanting you to do as well. Because I don't think that it should be like every design team that somebody gets on, they shouldn't expect, a payment of money value.
Yeah. No, it should be project based. Like I know, I just know that some companies, I remember in the past, would pay their designers or the design team for the projects that they did, like a monthly blog, and that was paid. Whatever the amount is, I think sometimes by giving that credit, that money, that monetary value to things, I think it helps the designers to feel like they want to work harder. And I feel like that. That's why we're doing so much on YouTube, not because we're making so much money on YouTube, truly not, but it really helps with it's just like but it really helps that that was Susan messaging me a question. It really helps to just I lost my train of thought, sorry. To really helps to kind of like motivate it. That's why the affiliate, it's like we're influencers, and influencers need to be motivated. That's why sponsorship and affiliates work so well. And Susan, go ahead and put that question in there. I'm going to go back in the chat and I'm going to show the other questions. Nuneka, you wanted to say something as well, right?
Okay, yeah, I wanted to say something, I think that, as Tiffany said, it's not easy for all the companies, especially for the small ones, to pay you. It doesn't matter if it's a store or a brand.
Right.
That's unrealistic. But I think companies should be clear of what they want from you, and also the designer must have it clear, and they both should attach to that. Because it happened to me sometimes that I enter a design team, they told me you have to do, let's say, 2 projects per month, and then they start asking for more things. That's unfair. Yeah. Because for my projects, I'm not using only the things they're sending me. I put in a lot of my stuff that I buy myself. So if I agree and I accept the deal that you are sending me this amount of products and I will do 2 projects per month, then you have to attach to that. You cannot change the rule once we are in the game. And many companies do that. And it's not fair. And they keep on doing it because nobody says, hey.
Right, nobody's stopping. And that's also what Alexandra is saying. It's like how it works. It's how it works in other fields. But with brand ambassadors and things, but not exactly, because like, for example, if you go to the fashion or makeup industry, you're right, people get sent clothes and makeup and whatever else, but they get like they get a lot of sponsorships as well, and they get paid for sponsoring. I mean, we could technically have that as well, but it's a little bit different. I mean, I think we are a smaller community, so it kind of like goes like, I mean, we're a smaller community, so that's why.
In the other hand, I want to say that some companies, they are extremely generous, like crazy generous.
Yeah.
I
They
don't
value the
but
influence.
I could say at least 4 companies that send me products, and I think I have products for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think they value, some companies value influencers, and that's really important to know. The question is, in addition to giving your products that you have to use, are you expected to follow a theme or topic? Yes, sometimes. Yes, definitely. Like, it could be a color, it could be a theme, but not always. Sometimes you're given like a very general theme. It's easier to have a theme sometimes.
Yeah, but it can happen that if they have a lot of things in the warehouse that they are not selling, they tell you, please use this because we need to sell this.
Right.
That happens. Or maybe colors, maybe we are not selling green, please use green. Or whatever.
That's true.
That is related with what I was saying at the beginning, that we are an instrument of publicity for the brands and stores. So they can use us to do this.
Yeah.
And I also want to say that in no way we're like wanting to like bash any company or like discourage you from being on design teams. I just think that for me, when I first started crafting, being on a design team was just the most amazing thing. And it still is. I'm not going to like put that out there, but like that it's not, but it is. But I think for some people, they might, especially if they're new or don't really know a lot about design teams, I think that being real and transparent with everything, I think is going to help. Some people think, well, you know, I have a family, I have a full-time job, I have this and this and this. Maybe being on a design team doesn't make sense right now, instead of trying out and then them getting on and then realizing after the fact, you know.
What happened? Sorry, Susan, you have to stop. Oh my gosh. No, don't text me. Don't text me. I can't turn off my, I don't know why I cannot turn off my thing. Don't text me here, please. I can't even open it. It doesn't let me close it, so it won't make a sound. So I don't know if she can hear me. I'm going to tell her not to text me. Don't text her.
Okay, I'm going to read that question from Joy. Okay. What is the most challenging part of being on a design team, in your opinion? Tiffany.
Why is it always me? So I've been on, I'm pretty sure all 3 of us have been on different types of design teams, whether it was like an Etsy store or a brand, a company, whatever. And I think overall, no matter what it was for, I think staying inspired, I think is the hardest thing for me, because sometimes I just don't want to create anything, or I sit down and try and create a project for the design team. And I mean, it could be the most like generous design team, and the design team doesn't really have many restrictions on what you can create with and everything like that. But I just, for some reason, sometimes it just does not come out. Like I just can't create sometimes.
Because we have deadlines.
Yeah.
And people must know that we have deadlines. There is a moment that you have to give them your project. So
my most challenging part was like when I took too much. Like, I loved being on design teams. Don't get me wrong. That was my goal, and I loved it for so many years.
Yes.
I think it's important that you guys actually get that experience if that's something you want. But for me, it was taking on too many design teams, and then I had too many deadlines. So I learned over the years to pace myself and not take so many design teams at once, or not so many demanding design teams. If they only wanted one thing a month, And that was good. The other thing that I suggest is that not only for companies, but there are some design teams places like Nomadic Soul Diaries, or what is the other one that D Garland? I can't remember the name. There's a few of them, and there have been many over the years where there's just sketch challenges or challenges that are not designing. And getting onto those are really good too, because you get to experience what it is to be on the design team, and people get to know your work. So it's really, really important.
On those, you have to keep in mind, like I'm organizing with the Nomadic Soul Diaries, and I have also been in More Than Words. The both are challenge design teams, and they can give you. We can't give you anything. We are not sending products. All we can offer our design team members is the window for them to show their value, their projects, their work, or if they want to do any other thing, because we have a Instagram TV channel, they can do whatever they want. Imagine like you are in my design team and you are making classes next week somewhere. You can use our platform to announce them.
Right. So it's kind of
works because we are all friends, and it's like voluntary thing, you know.
Right, but it gives you an influencer credit, like almost like it helps you be seen, because a lot of the companies, first of all, they sponsor those challenges. A lot of like you're using a certain product on those. If let's say you're using, let's say, a product in that project that you're making, and you're tagging that, which is again really important. Tagging is really important for the companies. You will be able to be exposed to those companies that you eventually want to get onto the design team. And okay, so the question is, how do companies choose their team members? Anybody wants to answer? I don't mind answering this one.
I can tell you what I do, because I'm kind of helping one of the stores I work with to pick right now people. I think it's a mix of things. No, you have to be present on social media because they want you to make publicity. So it doesn't make sense if you're not using Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You have to be real present, like every day. It's also important that you can follow the rules. Like they give you some rules that you have to do this, and this, and you have to do it right. And that starts when they are announcing the DT call. They ask you to do 3 things, for example, like write some lines about yourself, send your 3 better projects, give me your links of your social media. Do what they are asking. Not other things, what they are asking. That's very important, because you only have one chance to cause a first impression. How is that saying?
But I think
it's important that. And the other thing is, of course, you have to be talented. You don't need to have many followers, like 5,000. If you are good. If you are good, they won't care so much, because as soon as they put you in the window, everybody is going to start following you.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is hard. Not the competition is hard for those companies that are a little bit more sought out for. It is a little bit harder, and they get thousands and thousands, and sometimes you get lost in that own lineup of people. So they're looking for certain things. And sorry, let me rephrase. There's many things that you guys don't even think that they look for. Like, for example, what country are you from? That's a really big one. And a lot of people don't realize that they don't get onto design teams, not because their work isn't gorgeous. It's because they live in a country where mailing something is really hard to do, or they live in a country where, or let's say like they don't speak English really well, and that's something that is really important for influencers to do. So there's so many stipulations. If your blog, for example, or your YouTube channel is not in English, English is a big thing, or in whatever language. Let's say you're looking for a Spanish place, or letting Spanish. If you're going Polish, you need to speak Polish. That's how it works. But the main one in the industry is English, and they're looking for that. And if you don't have certain stipulations about that, And then it's also your work. So they're kind of narrowing it down. And if you have a big presence in social media, doesn't mean you have to have a lot of followers, but you have to constantly be tagging that company to show that you have enormous interest in them. And that's really important. The more you show interest, the better. And that's really, really, really important to show.
Yeah. Can I add just one little thing? Most of the time, companies or stores will have design team calls, but I've been approached probably more times than I've actually tried out to be on a design team, if I'm being honest, by a company or a store to be on their design team, because I don't think, yes, it has to do with people liking your work, but it also has to do with, like you said, like the company is seeing that, oh, this person loves our product and we love that they are passionate about our product. So we want them on our team because we know that they're going to post about it. They're going to tag us. They're going to tell other people to use our products. Yeah. And I think maybe this is probably maybe something else, but I think it's really important, not necessarily that you have a million followers like you guys are saying, but I think it's more so that you have good photos. I think it's very, very, very important, especially now that more and more people are on social media, good photos. And yeah, I think that might be one of the main things is when people ask like what, I'm getting off topic because I have a really scattered.
So that's why
I think we can make special tips to get into a design team at the end.
Yes. Okay.
So how long do you usually have to complete a project? That it depends, okay? But most of the time they give you enough time. The only time that you might not get enough time is right before creativation, when the products are not in and there's Christmas right around then. And it's really crunch time, and they send you the products literally on December 14th or December 20th, and you have to basically create quickly for creativation. Other than that, you usually get a good amount of time. It has happened that it's not, but truthfully, I mean, you do get enough time. So that's not a problem.
Yeah, actually, in some teams, you have the full schedule at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, that helps too. Because I know the design team I'm on right now, it's basically around the same exact time that it's like at the end of the month that I have to have my post ready by. So, and it's every single month. It's the same exact thing. So it really helps. Yeah. But I will say too that some companies some companies are maybe a little bit more prepared. And I've heard of companies sending products for creativation like 2-3 months in advance. Yeah. So sometimes it just depends on the company.
Definitely. What should be the first plan of action for attempting to be on a DT? Create with for me, it's like whatever DT you want to be on, you need to be creating the most amount of projects with those products so they can see you and tag on social media. If you don't tag them, they're not going to know you exist.
Right.
Even if all brands will tell, it doesn't matter if you are not creating with our products, it's not true. I have to say, it's not true.
Yeah.
If you want to enter Prima, you have to use Prima stuff. You know, if you want to enter Lindy's, you better use Lindy's.
Of course.
If you want to enter any chipboard company, you better use chipboards. You cannot enter in a chipboard company if you are not using chipboard and you are using die-cut pieces, for example.
Okay, hold on. I have another one. It says, are there any other companies asking for exclusivity, meaning they don't want you to be part of other teams? So never other teams, but other products, definitely. So there's another question. Oh, wait, I'll ask them. So the only exclusivity is with products sometimes. So if a company, for example, is very exclusive on their products, for example, I don't know how Lindy's, does it have an exclusivity? I'm not sure.
Yes, of course. I cannot use any other sprays, pigment powders, or embossing powders. And I signed my contract
with your projects.
And I agree. In all my projects, of course.
Not only for the ones that you're doing for them.
Yes.
Right. So
not all the companies are like that.
No. So paper companies, paper is there's no exclusivity on paper.
Yeah, true.
But Prima, for example, has exclusivity on flowers. So if you're in a design team or educator for Prima, you're not allowed to use flowers from another company that makes flowers.
And mediums.
And mediums
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Now, in terms of mediums, however, I think, so this is why I couldn't use Lindy's for so long, because Color Bloom sprays, when I was on the design team, I was on Color Bloom sprays. However, there are design teams that let you use mediums when it's not projects for them.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, I don't have any limits on that. On my own projects, for my other teams or any other thing, I can use whatever I want.
Yeah.
If I want to use wow embossing powders, I can do it, but not for Lindy's, of course.
Right.
So, did I just show? Okay. Sorry, that's not the one I was. This one is the other one. Are you obliged to use the products of the brand you represent on your personal classes? You're not obliged, but
They would be happy.
they're happy, and it depends. I'm an educator from Prima Marketing, so therefore I need to use most of it Prima Marketing.
Yeah.
So yes, in that sense, definitely.
It happens to me also with Lindy's. I'm Lindy's educator, and one of the things I signed is that I'm going to use Lindy's on my classes.
Yeah, so this is
different, because you can be in a design team and be a designer, and it doesn't mean that you are an educator for the brand, so you can use whatever you want in your classes, I guess.
Okay, so here we go. This one is interesting. So this is Belinda said this, like South Africa has a problem with postage that never arrived. So being on design teams was really nearly impossible.
Wow.
So some countries don't get post, and some countries you cannot mail from the US. I know. Like I remember Prima Design.
Yeah. Some countries,
huge problem with places like Ukraine and Slovenia and Slovenia. Sorry, Alexandra, I don't want to you.
Some countries you cannot send certain kind of products, like sprays or booth things or.
Oh, sure. Look here. I'll show you one more thing that Belinda's saying. Stuff gets stolen or it doesn't arrive. Of course, customs holds it. So.
Wow.
And you end up here. This is the thing, and you have to use couriers that are very expensive. And you just see if there's any other questions. And then it was. Oh, okay. So let me go to one of the questions. Susan, what was the question you had asked me? Because I don't know what it was. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is another one from Ritu Parna. Is that how you say her name? I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I just put it in and show. Okay. Does it really depend on how the person are talented for the T requirements, or just seeing how many branded DTs members he or she are on? We kind of covered it, but if you want to answer that, I'll go to the next one, find another one.
I think it depends more on your talent. Not for being in many design teams, you have to be picked for another one. Maybe that's on the contrary, I think. Maybe you have been in too many design teams, so people already have an idea about you or about what you represent, and that's good for that brand. Imagine being like a lot of time in AV Studio, maybe another Polish company doesn't want me because I'm related to AV Studio.
Right.
People will get confused or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's the next one. What's the best part? For me, it was like working with all the products, working with new products. Don't get me wrong. It's really fun. I loved it. And meeting new people. I made a lot of friendships through design.
Yeah.
Because we have like our own design team group behind the scenes. And I made a lot of friendships that way.
Yeah.
A lot of them. So, I mean, over the years, people have left. And one of the things that people don't realize, and I mean, this is off topic of what you're asking, but people don't realize sometimes how hard it is to be on design team, how much, like we said, how much it actually puts a toll on you. And a lot of people quit halfway through. So going back to that other question, if you have a reputation where they know that you quit design teams, trust me, those companies are going to know. They're going to see that everybody knows ourselves in our community. And they're going to hear it from somebody. And they're going to verify if that's true. And if they've done that, you're not going to be hired or not hired, whatever, taken for those design teams.
Yeah.
And it's really really, I mean, I know sometimes life happens and like, people have lost, like I know people have had losses and things like that or gotten ill, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like just suddenly quitting without doing what you were required to. And I know if you're committed, I am the type of person, if I'm committed to something, I will definitely will give 100%. So
yeah.
I think it's important to keep in mind that companies, those people know each other. They talk to each
Yes.
other.
Right.
They're going to meet in creativation, and they're going to talk. And
Right.
you don't think about it, but they will talk about us.
Yeah.
So if you are not professional and you kind of mess up things or be a gossip person, people will know that.
And causing drama, don't cause drama.
Right.
People know. And you know
Yeah.
what? You make yourself a name. It's with any job. You're making yourself a name.
Exactly.
For a company, and you're representing them. You're like the front line. Like you're presenting your project on a blog or on YouTube, and you're saying, I created this for this company, and then you're like, they know you behind the scenes that you're causing drama. They're not going to want to.
And also it also works in the other direction. If you are really good, if you do your job, if you are professional, if you give yourself for that company or store, they will talk good about you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, I want to say too, I've been on design teams where the company doesn't follow through with what they say. So I think, and I will be honest, I quit one of them because the lady wasn't being truthful. This was many, many years ago. I don't even know if the company is still around, but many, many years ago, because and it was like very early on too. And I couldn't not, it didn't sit well with myself knowing that she kind of, I don't know if she manipulated on purpose or what it was, but she just didn't follow through with what she had said would happen. And I mean, and you can't feel guilty about it, especially if a company is telling you, hey, you got to do one project. And then when you get on, they're asking for 10. I mean, and you know that you can't follow through with that.
Right.
You have to tell the company that, you know what, this isn't what I signed up for. I've had to do it where, you know what, I can't do, 5 projects, I can do 2. And most of the time, if they want you, they'll be respectful and stuff too. So
Alexandra is saying here too, some companies don't even like you. They know, like they don't want you to be on too many design teams because they're afraid you will not be able to be committed to them. So that's really true what Alexandra is saying. And sorry, then I'll go back to this question. Are videos mandatory? It just depends. I mean, it's hard to know. Like it depends on the company. If you know how to do videos, you have a more chance of getting into a design team, especially if they love you doing design teams. But they're not really mandatory.
Yeah, they're not mandatory, but I will say that they help a lot.
Yeah.
And I will tell you why. If you are looking on Instagram, that is a fast thing. That doesn't make companies sell products. Like I see a project from Tiffany and I say, oh, wow, it's amazing. But I don't wonder what you use to do it.
Yeah.
But if I watch your video and I see you're using an amazing, let's say, paint, and I don't have it, but I want it, I go instantly to try to find it and buy it.
Right.
So videos help a lot because they are the best publicity for brands and companies.
Right. That when Prima, for example, started, videos were not as popular. We were doing blogs, and you saw the beautiful projects. That's when projects were really important because you saw these beautiful projects and you wanted to imitate what they were doing. But then you also had things like magazines. Like I remember my first project that I scrap lifted was from Gabi Polaco. I scrap lifted layout. I wasn't even online yet. I was looking through creative keepsakes, and I scrap lifted a layout from her. No, not even knowing who she is. And later on, I found out. So I think we kind of there's so many like things that you don't think that they might want, right? So
yeah.
Okay, here's another question. Yeah, it's exactly. I think this is right here. There we go. You can read that one in the meantime while I put the other one. Yeah, I know I have mixed feelings too, and this is why now I'm working for myself, and I hope that like the companies kind of approach me. So there is like, it is free marketing, but that's why now affiliate marketing, memberships, YouTube, it's so great. So I find that helps right now with exactly that free marketing. It's like a win-win situation for the companies, especially stores. It's really good.
Also, I have to say that he said such large brands. I think we believe brands are bigger than they really are.
Yeah.
Many brands are tiny family business made in a I don't know the word, in the basement,
like little warehouses or like in their kitchen or whatever.
Okay, like let's say probably Ranger is pretty big, I assume, but I don't know. But you're right, Lindy's, even Prima, you think is big, they're struggling right now with the situation. Don't worry yourself, they're struggling.
Yeah.
So
people think Lindy's is huge, but if you look in the profile, you will see some pictures of how they really fill the bottles. The girl has the little spoon, fill it in. It's all made by hand. It's not so big.
Right.
Question, Rita Parner also.
They're not.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, kind of like saying the same thing, but it's not like IKEA or Walmart. They're these, even though we feel like they're big companies, in the grand scheme of things, even if it is Prima and Ranger, they're really honestly still pretty small compared to big companies like that. So
right. Okay, so the next question: photography or video? Is it all means to make someone's capability how they do a great job? I think so. I think you need to at least know photography. Videos, maybe not. As I said, not every company requires you videos, but photography, definitely. Your pictures need to look amazing. You're like, even if you're not putting a beautiful composition with them, your pictures need to be amazing.
Yeah, because if you are making an amazing project, but your photos doesn't show it, what is the point? And believe me, I'm a photographer, a professional photographer, but I tell you something, it's not so hard to take good pictures. Go into Pinterest, look on how to make food photos, and then you will find all the tips you need to take good pictures in your house, in a tiny space with very few things, and you got it.
Yeah.
You don't need an expensive camera. I have friends that take pictures with the phone, and they're amazing.
Yeah. The apps that you can get on your phone now, like, it's just amazing how you could change. I think the white balance is, I think, the main thing that I always see people messing up. Like, it's either too yellow or too blue, and it just doesn't represent the project as much, like, as it should. And also, like, you know, obviously how bright it is and stuff.
I have to say something more. No photographer, no camera will ever capture what your eyes can see.
Yes.
So please don't get mad, don't get upset, don't go crazy because you cannot properly capture what your eyes are seeing, because that's impossible.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was just laughing about what Keren said, because she says her doctor is right across from Ranger, and she says she wants to go across and rummage through their garbage. Belinda is asking, what is your opinion on blogging? Is it still a thing, or is it blogging dead? I personally, so blogging is not dead for other, like, I think, what should I say? Maybe we shouldn't say dead, because I don't know if this will YouTube will like put this, but I think blogging is thing of the past, at least for creatives. Once YouTube and Instagram took over, I personally don't think blogging is as important. Having a website maybe with just like information about you that's what my next step to do, because my blog is like a mess. But other than that, people can see everything I make through Instagram and through YouTube and Facebook. So what is the point, right?
Yeah.
I think we are more visual now Personally, I don't write in my blog since more than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I pay in the domain like stupid.
Me too. But keep that domain. Don't let go of it. That's another thing.
Yeah.
You will not to let go of your domain because somebody will grab it.
Yeah.
I keep it.
Yeah. So go ahead. You can answer while I get another question.
So I probably most known for like the mixed media stuff, but I have been on a lot of guest design teams for stamp companies, like All New, Concord and Ninth, and Pink Fresh Studio, and things like that. They want you to blog. So I think like card companies are still doing like blog hops and sending people to blog. Yeah. So I think it kind of just depends on, I think
the card companies are still doing well.
I think it's different. We should make a difference here, like in personal blog or the company blog. Because
personal blogging for stamp companies. Yeah.
Lindy's blog really works a lot.
Right.
Every day we have an article, and every day you find something new in the blog, and we keep it because it works.
Right. So I really think that for people that are wanting to get onto design teams, you should follow the company's blog and actually participate a lot and write comments. So I used to do that. Truthfully, I haven't seen one blog from a company in many years. And that's actually sad. I just didn't even think of it until now, until you said it. I used to like literally write a comment every day on the Prima blog. And now I haven't even don't remember what the last thing they posted. So I guess it's personal too. It depends on the person. So yeah, exactly.
I don't know what it is about like the difference in a lot of different areas between like the card making side of things and even like the more simpler like scrapbooking, like simple stories and like the kind of thing, like why they're still so much involved with blogging rather than like YouTube. I mean, of course they are on YouTube and stuff, but I think it's
maybe because cards are a bit simpler to make. They're not simple, but simpler to make in the sense that people could maybe figure at least how to place the elements. So they can look at a picture and do that. When you're having a like very involved mixed media project, you need to just like come and get it out.
Yeah. Some of my cards take twice as long as my mixed media projects.
I don't do cards because of that.
All the families are going to give you thumbs down. By the way, give this video a thumbs up.
Oh yeah, please give my video a thumbs up. Yeah. Good point. And subscribe.
I am surprised, honestly, that more people are not here.
I know,
because it's such a huge. I think there's so many people that probably are on design teams and don't want to ask questions because they're afraid of maybe repercussions of.
Ask questions. Why not just come
and see? Yeah. But we are glad that you are all here. I'm not.
Yeah, no, we're definitely glad. Yeah. So the next question is also, this is the last one from her because these came from Facebook. It's if someone's followers aren't huge, is it calculated on their talent for everything? I don't think so. I don't think so. I've seen people with very few followers literally getting on like big design teams. It has nothing to do. It has to do with talent and, as I said, all the other things where you work, where you live, like how you speak and so forth.
Yeah, because as I said, as soon as you are in their window, everybody is going to start following you, and you will be more visible. So numbers are not so important. It's more important your talent.
Yeah.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Do companies give away products without being on design teams? I have heard that if you ask, they will just ask to be tagged or recognized. Yes, they do.
Tell me.
But
Ranger.
Yes, I think
Ranger.
Yeah, I also think too, like if you don't have any social media presence, I think that goes back to being present on social media. Like if you have one follower on Instagram, you don't make YouTube videos, you don't have a blog, you can't just go asking around for product from companies.
No, you cannot, obviously.
I think that would be a little bit rude.
And also you need to see that you're tagging them all the time. Like I tag Ranger and Prima and Finnabar like 1,000 times every day.
Yeah.
So I did ask after it was first time I took the guts and went and asked, and it worked out. But you never know; it might also not.
Right.
But I do know that Prima, for example, does give products to non-design team members for certain projects and products like watercolors or
Right.
planners, things like that, that they need to like promote that their design team maybe is not like promoting that well.
Right.
Yeah. But this is also, I don't know the word, extrapolable. You can extend that to other things. Like this community is small. So if you want to be really a part of it, you have to be there and you have to interact with companies, with other actors. You have to move and do, not just ask for.
Yeah.
Whose dog is that? I hear a dog.
It's my neighbor's.
Oh, it's your neighbor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My dog is not
I
barking.
live in the middle of nowhere in the countryside, so every sound is
What are the markers?
too much. And now that there's no one around, anytime someone is walking the dog near the house, the other dog is barking. I'm sorry.
What are the markers of a good DT? I'm not sure what they mean by that. Somebody else maybe answer.
Yeah. I think what she's asking is like, what are the indications of a good design team? And I think it depends on what you're willing to do for the amount of product. And I think if that, like, say a company, you know, you want to be on their design team, I think before even trying out for their design team, email the person that is in their contact for applying for the design team and ask them and make sure that they're transparent with how much product, because if they say, oh, a generous amount, like their generous amount could be different from your generous amount of what you value your time for. Yeah. And I think it's important too, because I value my time. And when I first started, I would work for little, but I mean, not because I am the one, and I know you, Keren and Nuneka, are probably the same. I know that you are, I won't say probably, that we value our time so much. We're not willing to do it for tiny little bits or nothing at all. Or, you know what I mean? Like, it's not because we think we're so big, but it's because we have other things going on and we're established now, not like I kind of feel, I don't know if I'm explaining it in a bad way, but not like our egos, I think you guys know, if you know us, are not huge are at all. I think all three of us are very humble, I think, but we still value our time. And I think that
but we've been doing this, so exactly. We've been doing this for so many years. So you can't have someone who's just starting out to want to have the same kind of like perks that we get in that sense. So
yeah.
I think it's also related of your own limits, you know?
Yes.
I haven't been in design teams for so many years. This is my third year, actually.
Oh, wow.
But from the beginning, I put a limit to myself. I'm not applying for any company that asks for more than 2 projects per month, because I think it's abusive, even if they send me all the products they have. Yeah. But that is my opinion. Some people are happy to make 3 or 4 projects per month.
So for me, what I felt that I did, well, it's the same thing, because I started in design teams probably in 2012, 2013. By 2018, I was done. I was like, I am one a year or doing none. And 2019, I basically dwindled it all down. Now I have no design teams. Yeah, I represent companies and I represent products, but that's about it. So that's what it is. But it is necessary. You can't have, you need to be on design teams in order to represent the companies.
Exactly.
You can't.
Be brand ambassador if you haven't been in the design team before.
Right.
And Cheryl, that question is relative. Like every company asks you for different amounts of products. And it's exclusive products. Yeah, you can use products from other companies unless it's like, for example, an ink that the company doesn't have, or some cloth or some fabric, things that are non-denominational. But it depends. Some, like Nuneka said, some want 2, some want 3, some want 4, so, you know.
Yeah. And you really have to decide, like Nuneka did from the start, that you have to decide how much you are willing to do for that amount of product. You know, because they can even, I mean, a company could ask for one video or one project and only give you one stamp. You know, are you willing to do all of that work for one stamp?
Right.
I'm just saying, you know, like
I am not. I'm not willing, and I've told, like, I've said to companies, please don't send me because I won't work with it. I can't.
Yeah.
And the question Susan was asked, like earlier, she said, how do you approach a company?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the question is whether should you approach a company and how do you approach a company? So you can talk about it. It's like a resume, I guess, but yeah.
You will hear some music. It's like because it's 8 o'clock here and my neighbors are playing some music because at 8 we all clap
Oh,
for doctors and nurses and that.
oh wow.
Keren, your video can't be monetized.
Yeah, in Spanish.
Okay. How do you approach a company? I think first using the products.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
tagging them.
Yeah. Taking part in the challenge.
Yeah.
And
you can email them as well. You can email them as well. Like, you can say, look, I work a lot with your products. They're like one of the most products I love to work with the most. This is some of my projects. I know you're not looking for a design team, but would you be willing to do a guest design team or something like that?
Really or maybe ask when are you going to make a DT call?
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's the same question. Because you don't have to wait until somebody approaches you. I think, but tagging is, as I said, really, really, really important, especially on Instagram and Facebook. Keep on tagging people nonstop. And this is the question, another question that Susan asked, and that is this one, which I think all of us have gone through. Hold on, I'm putting it on. Yeah. It has happened. It's not that I don't love the product. I might like the product, but it's not my style. So I love a lot of products, but cutesy stamps, for example, are not my style. And for me to work with them is really hard. And I've had to tell, like, once you have a good rapport in the design team, let's say a company sends you everything. If obviously I'm not going to go into design team that has these products. That's not what I'm saying. But if I am going on a design team that has many different products and some products I don't like, I'll make sure that I sign up in the schedule to things that I know that I like. So I can kind of control that.
But sometimes you don't. Like Nuneka was saying earlier, is like sometimes I've been on design teams where they're like, oh, this is coming out. You have to use this. Even though it's not your style, unfortunately, you still got to do it. You got to come up with something sometimes.
And sometimes they send you some things that are, I'm sorry, crap. And you have to work with them. It's the job.
Yeah.
That's the thing you have to keep in mind. For me, for example, if I compromise, I do it. So maybe I don't like this gesso so much, but I have to use it, at least in that project, and I do it. That's it.
Oh, sorry, I missed the question about this. Can your project be submitted to a magazine like Somerset, or is it designed only for the company? Nope, you can submit it. I mean, you have to ask permission, and actually some companies pay you if you get it published.
Yeah.
That's it, because in the end, it's publicity. It's extra for the company.
So yeah, and hold on.
If you're working like on a specific design team, like say Prima, I don't know if they pay or that's one thing that eventually, I don't know, I'm just too scared to, I don't even know how to go about it, but try and be published in a magazine, or like, okay, so I won't say a specific because I don't know about Prima, but a specific design team that you're on, and then you say, oh, I want to submit this. You have to ask them in order to submit that project, or
no, you don't need to. So for example, when I was on the Prima design team, I submitted for a magazine. I don't remember which one it was. And I got published, and Prima actually paid me for that as well. You don't have to ask them, just make sure that it's published. Some magazines don't want you to have projects that had already been published somewhere else. So sometimes they want original projects. Now,
Yeah.
there's very few magazines that pay you. Like a lot of the magazines, for example, the scrapbooking memory, what is it called? The Canadian one. Like they won't pay you for like they only have their own writers. But if you're submitting a layout, for example, to them, you still have to pay the shipping. Like that's what I never submitted anything because I got 2 published in their magazine, and then after a while, it would cost me $20 to ship it. They're not paying me.
Yeah.
Right? Now, Somerset, the same thing. They will not pay you for a single, like if it's like a project. But if you're doing a whole article, then they pay you. And I have submitted.
Oh.
So if you do an article, but also they like to kind of take the same people. The same people kind of always tend to be on it. So you don't get a lot of chances, almost like more exclusive than a design team in a sense.
Yeah.
And no, companies do not pay anymore just with products. I mean, some of them do, but we already discussed this. I don't know, Misfit Crafter. I think we already discussed this.
Oh, Monique. Yeah. Her name's Monique.
Oh, and then Monique. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see. What's this one? No, not at all. This company keeps saying, no, you have the rights to your...
Yeah, exactly. It's your creation.
Yeah.
And for example, with photos, you don't need even to register them. As soon as you take them, they are yours and nobody.
Right.
The only time they do have rights is if they paid you to create content. They do have the rights for that. If they paid you to create content, then they have the rights to your video.
Yeah. Kind of, I think.
They have not the rights.
No, I thought they do.
No. For example, if I make a video and it's on Lindy's channel, Lindy's have those rights.
No,
right.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. If they pay me to make a video for their channel or their blog, then they have the right.
No, I don't think so. You have to send them the rights if they want to have them.
Oh,
it's the same like with photos. I can make an amazing photo and make it published, I wish, in National Geographic, but I give them the right to use them that time in that magazine. They don't have the right of my photos if I don't sell them.
Oh, I see. I didn't know
and it's the same with videos.
Yeah. Well, and I think you have to be careful too, because when you are on design team, well, I think most design teams will ask, like, can we put this on packaging or, things like that.
And
so
you know that most of the companies make you sign a contract, and then you allow them to do some things with your photos, videos, projects. Some companies want you to send the projects to them, and they keep them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Preppy Crafty Girl has a good point, because I used to do photography as well, and there would be sometimes when even though you release the photo, or like say, I did a project for a company and they wanted to tweak my project in Photoshop. They, obviously they can't do that. I've never heard of any company doing that, but I'm just saying, like, there has been times when I've done photos for people and they put an Instagram filter on it, and I'm just like, why did I spend hours editing these photos and you just put a crappy Instagram filter on it?
Right. You sign away. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. She's here. I just want to. There we go. There. Okay, so we came up also with some topics. I see there's no more questions that we haven't answered. So one of them, and I'll just put it up.
Oh, I thought we were done with those. We were supposed to wait for the questions in the comments till after.
I know.
Yeah, we have like 10 questions ready.
Okay.
Where did my comment go? Oh, there. Hold on. So, okay. So being discouraged to apply, that was a topic that we thought we could talk about, because I think a lot of people are discouraged about this. And any of you can go ahead and talk about it if you want.
I cannot talk about that.
Okay. No?
No, I'm sorry. I applied for very few design things, and I have to say I entered in all of them.
No, but were you ever discouraged to apply? Meaning not
or scared or nervous or anything?
Right.
That's have to be with how you are. I mean, like, I already have a no. I'm not losing everything for applying.
Yeah.
Feeling
But
the rejection.
also,
It's talking about rejection, how you feel when somebody doesn't want you. So you haven't had that experience, but I have had that experience, and it really sucks. I do.
Yeah.
but again, it has to be with you and not with being a design team. It's like, if you are happy with what you do, and team doesn't pick you, it doesn't mean your work is not good. It's just that maybe it's not more space for everyone in the team,
Yeah.
or maybe it's that you are not what they are looking for, but it doesn't mean you are not good.
Right. So that's where I think people are
You have to
mistaken.
work, no design teams.
I know. I think that's where people get discouraged because they'll try one time and then they might not try again just because they
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
oh, maybe they weren't good enough. But for example, for Prima, it took me 3 years to get on the
Right.
design team. I kept on applying, I know people have applied 6 times, and you keep on applying and applying. Same with 7 Dot Studio. I wanted to be on that design team so badly, and it took me many years to just continue to apply because whatever they were looking for or where it wasn't what I wanted. Yes, you're putting your hand up. Yes.
So I think in those cases, when you are applying to a team and they don't pick you and you feel sad and you apply again and they don't pick you, why don't you mail the company and say, hey, I really want to be in your team. Tell me how I can improve so one day I can be in your team. Help
Right.
me. Because at the other side of the email, there is a person,
Yeah.
and maybe they will appreciate that.
Yeah. And it could be something simple like, well, maybe you need to brighten up your photos a little bit better or, something simple. But sometimes when I first started, I was like, ooh, my things are just as good as this person way up here. And looking back, I'm like, what was I thinking? Not like to discourage anybody, but like my photos were crap, and even though I felt like my creations, because I was creating from the heart, were just as good as somebody way up here, even though I started 2 weeks before, I think that it's important to know that there's always a way to improve. I have a little fly. There's always a way to improve, whether it's photos or, maybe you're not using as much of the product as they want or, something like that. So there's always a way to improve.
Right.
So if you don't get on the design team, ask like why, and really take a really good look at what the company is looking for, like their design team. All of them really honestly have a specific look that they want. And you have to really take a good look at your stuff. And even though it may be just as good, but it doesn't fit what their marketing is going for.
That's a good point because I see that every year when Prima makes the call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look at it, Prima has a really clear style.
Yeah.
They do certain kind of projects. They show them in a certain way. So if you want to be on Prima, you better do your stuff like Prima.
Right.
And if you want to be, let's say, like 13 Arts, they are completely different. So if you want to be in 13 Arts, you have to take a look of what they show and start working that way. So you will fit on that.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Yes, I know that some companies are looking for originality too, and you might not.
Sorry. It's really bugging me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
For example, if you think about it, think about Prima, and right before I became a design team member, guess who was on the Prima design team? Anna.
Yeah, true.
And think about them taking Anna, who was a style completely different than what they were doing with the beautiful pastel flowers, and they took her on, and look at us now, right? So I think they are looking for originality, and same thing with Anna and Finabar when they're looking for in the design team. They're looking for people that will really step out of their box. You want to be out of the box, not way like in like Timbuktu,
right?
Which I know it's a real place, but really like just like you want to kind of fit in the style, but not like she's saying, like somebody's saying she's not mainstream, but at the same time, you don't have to be mainstream, but you have to be able to work with the products that they have. Otherwise, it doesn't help, right?
Yeah. And don't change your style and
No.
what
Yeah.
you feel is like here, because all of us have it here if we're creating, it's there to be on a certain design team, because that's when you're going to realize, you know what, this sucks to be on a design team. And if it's your first one, you don't want it to be a bad experience just because you molded yourself into this box that fit this certain design team because you thought it was going to be, they're the biggest one out there.
Right. When
And
somebody's saying they're not fitting like a certain style,
yeah,
you should go and apply for those that you fit, that your style is like that.
Mhm.
That's why I say don't change yourself, adapt yourself.
Adapt.
Yeah. And even if you say you use Caramel stamps and stencils in a different way than you're seeing, and then you can probably approach them, and then they could, or tag them and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
In a different way than they're seeing, then maybe, some companies are up for something different too.
So the thing that everybody's
I think
saying
it's hard.
sorry. I find that everybody is saying that some people don't fit in the box. And I find that sometimes that's great in the sense that now that I have the freedom of not being in a design team, I don't have to fit myself in that box. And I'm really going out of my way to not fit in that box. I really don't like fitting in that box. Some of it I do, but a lot of the times it's like, I don't want to fit in that box. And why should I? So yes, you're right. That's part of it. And talking about boxes, because it reminded me of my project for tomorrow. We just want to tell you all that tomorrow we have a full day of live stream event. So please join us. The theme is
tomorrow is crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It starts at
14 hours of live stream.
Pacific time, which is what time in Europe?
It's 13.
It's okay. It's 1 p.m. or 13 p.m. in Europe, and it starts on Olga Hellman's channel.
And it's going to be 14 hours of live streams
on steampunk.
Yeah.
So just so you know, and it's going to be a little bit of out of the box experience here. You're going to, so please join us.
Yeah.
It is. My project is a bit out of my box.
I don't even have, you want to know what's sitting on my desk?
I can show you something for tomorrow.
Oh, I can show you too, but mine is all glued, so I can't. So I'm not showing you.
Okay, next question.
So why
people get chosen?
Same people, yeah. Why?
I think this is like in college when you discover how to get the best degree. Like you make this, and you kind of know how to show yourself, how to be in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So people see you, companies see you. That's the thing.
I think it has to do with like any job, you know, like people who have experience, people that have been in the market for a long time. Every company, of course, they're going to want somebody who has experience, who they know they can trust, they know they can work hard and won't quit on them, because let me tell you, and this was one of the topics, so many people quit on these design teams because it's very overwhelming. So if they know that you're committed and you've been committed to many companies over the years or over a few months, and you continue to show commitment, they're going to want you over another design or another person, of course.
Yeah.
And so there's so many different variations of why certain companies want and the same people all the time. It has to do with experience, knowledge, and it also has to do with like how marketing, I mean, you know, like all these things are taken into consideration.
But I think it doesn't mean that you cannot get into a design team if you have never been in a design team before. I will always be grateful to Little Birdie that gave me my first opportunity when I was just starting. And they were so kind with me.
Yeah. Oh, Cheryl, what time? So Sorry about that. Can somebody, Susan? Okay, hold on. I'll go back and hold on one second. How do I find
Yeah,
it?
I write it. Don't worry, I will write it.
So we're gonna put the first one starts. I don't know what time zone. Olga Heldwin. It starts at 4 a.m., which Pacific time. You don't have to make it to all of them. Obviously, there's 14 hours, but it's really fun to chat. And every hour there's somebody else. I think I'm on at like 1 p.m. Pacific time. Tiffany's after me. Anna is before me. Then before me, Cindy, Nuneka, you're at like 10 a.m. So like there's every hour there's somebody. And if you go to any of our channels, we should have like there is definitely how do you call this?
I
Scheduled.
have a tab,
Schedule. Thank you.
I haven't done mine yet, so don't go to mine.
but I
Oh,
have
so
a tab.
if you go to my channel, you can see the schedule under my steampunk video.
And also, if you go to my channel, I have the community tab, and you will find all the information
Oh,
there.
I'll do that too. Actually, I didn't do that.
Yeah, I'll do that too as well.
Let me see. Any other questions, please? If anybody wants to, no, 7 a.m. No, Susan, it's 7 a.m. Pacific time.
No.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 7 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
4 a.m. Pacific.
I have a couple questions. There people are getting questions for people that are watching now, or if you're watching later and made it this far, leave a comment if you're watching later, obviously, or in the chat, you can answer this. I don't know what's on. Somebody's phone number was on here. Anyways, all right. Why do you want to be on a design team? Is the one thing. And then what would your dream design team be? Design team. Yeah. Those are my two questions for the people in the chat. You guys are quiet. Are you guys laughing at me?
No,
I hope no one could see that.
No. What? No, I was just like, all I hear is my husband, like he's like cleaning something really loud, and I'm like texting him, please stop doing that. I can't.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys could hear it or not. I can hear it. Okay, so let's see. Why do people want to be on design team? But in the meantime, let me see while they're writing, because nobody's answering it. Let's see. A lot of the things that we already covered. So, oh yeah, this was one of them. This one, there was the one that you wanted to talk about. Hold on. Okay, so Nunu, you wanted to talk about this, I think, or somebody said it.
Okay, tips on how to apply. To me, first and most important is to do what they ask for. As I said in the beginning of this connection, if they ask you to write some lines about you, send 3 photos and send links, do that. And do it like you are writing to a person, not just put things, don't throw things in your email. Like say, hello, this is my name, I'm from this place, I like crafting because of this or that. Nobody cares where are you going on holidays or what are your favorite music group. Be professional. I mean, this is a hobby, yes, but try to be as professional as you can. That is one thing. The other thing is use their products. Even if they say it's not necessary that you use our products, you better use their products because they are going to look with different eyes to that.
Tag.
What?
Tagging.
Yeah, exactly. What else?
You have to have a social media presence.
Exactly.
You want to hear some of the answers? There's answers coming on.
Yeah, but before, can I answer?
About social media, one thing to me it's important of this. If you want to apply for a team, keep your social media for crafting. Don't make another different account for your personal stuff, your kids, your food, your whatever, and keep the one you are sending for crafting, because companies will keep them in mind. Like, people will visit your profile in searching of products or projects made with those products you are representing. And if they find your cooking stuff or your family photos, and that is confusing, and it's to me it doesn't look professional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have two separate. I did it a long time ago. Facebook. I mean, although I share more, like not like too personal stuff, but I am more a little bit candid on Facebook. But Instagram for sure, I really only like share crafty things on my crafty Instagram, and then I have a personal one too. So when I found out about Prima, that was my dream design team, was being on Prima's design team.
Me too.
And then I think now that and now Finnabear, because she wasn't really around when I had the dream, but then I of course worked with her stuff being on Prima's design team, and now I'm on her creative team, she calls it. And but now reaching that goal, I think my goal would probably be for, I think, Ranger maybe to reach out and ask for maybe a project to display at Creativation. I think would probably be because this last time I was kind of sad that none of my projects were at Creativation because I wasn't on any design teams, and I was there and I was kind of sad not to see any. But I think now I have a higher goal into, like, instead of just being on a design team, I think that would probably be my next goal.
Yeah.
I was like, did I lose you guys? You guys are so quiet.
No, for me,
You guys think I'm crazy.
For me, it was also to be on the Prima design team. That was my main goal, and it took me like 3 years, as I said.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I just reading the comments because everybody's writing really nice comments.
Okay, so my dream was to be a lady one.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it real like 2 years ago. I can be more happy because I love the product, I love the company, I love this kind of friendship we have. But I still have a dream to come true, and I would like to be on Finnabear design team. Who knows? Because at the same time, I think next year I don't want to be on any design teams.
Yeah.
So we will see.
You can be an ambassador for them. That's the same.
That would be amazing. That will be really amazing. Yeah. I would love to.
Yeah.
So, I do want to address something that I don't think we addressed, and that is the feelings that people feel behind the scenes when seeing that other people are making it onto design teams and stuff like that. And I think that's a really important point to address, because let's say our happiness sometimes when we're making on design teams, that we are being exposed when people are sharing our projects, is somebody else's unhappiness, because it's not that they don't want to see us happy, but what the point is that they want that same happiness. So it's not like, I always have struggled with the jealousy and envious, like balance between the two, because somebody might be envious that they're not on that design team, but it's not like they're wishing you not being on it, but what they wish is that they were on it as well. And I find that's really difficult, because I want to address that all those feelings that people have when they're not making on the design teams, they're all valid and all true. And please, like, it should not discourage you from continuing to kind of continue to apply, continue to kind of look for, and as Nuneka said, make sure you maybe email those companies and say, well, what are you kind of looking for? And they might say to you, you know what, you live, like, maybe it is like you're living in a country that you can't receive. So maybe they love what you created. It will make you feel good knowing that they're not choosing you not because you're not an amazing artist, but that's because you're actually did not meet their how do you call this? You do not meet their, their requirements. So you live in a country where you cannot work. You cannot work with them and so forth. There's many, many different things. So I think I want to just make sure that that everybody gets validated, that they should really like that just because somebody is like, look, like somebody was mentioning here that they didn't make them ever on a design team, and I know their work and it's amazing. So you
Yeah.
kind of like think, well, a design team is not an all and be all. Yes, it's really amazing and you get free products and you don't have to pay for those products. In that sense, that's one of the original reasons I wanted to make sure that I wanted to work with amazing products. But it wasn't only that, it was the status and it was a little bit of the pride that I felt and so forth. But in general, you should really know that being on a design team is not the all and be all, that you have to kind of feel okay with being an artist on your own as well.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And valuing yourself, not putting your value in just being on a design team is important too. Because if you're like, well, I guess I suck, my stuff sucks because I can't make a design team, then maybe it might be a time to like step back and maybe just remember why you started creating to begin with.
That's right.
I have to do that almost sometimes weekly when I get discouraged and stuff, because I know Kay Art and the City Creation, she's probably my longest, and Monique, I think maybe too. I have known them probably the longest in the crafting community. And so I get discouraged a lot, even though I've been on amazing design teams. I'm on one now, and whatever, it's just like, well, why can't I be at 100,000 subscribers? Like, what is it about me that, so it's everybody feels it.
Is kind of like being on a design team. Being on YouTube is like being on a design team. It's the same amount of work, and it's like that same feeling you get when you're getting discouraged when it's not working the way you wanted it to be.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say that too, because even being on design teams, I sometimes look at the designers for Finnabair and I'm like, my stuff, I don't feel like it's as good as theirs. Like, why am I on this design team? So it happens to everybody that, and I just want to make sure that people know that too, that we're sometimes all in the same boat.
Did you read the comment here I posted, Tiffany?
Huh?
Did you read the comment that's highlighted?
Oh, Monique, that's way too much work for me. I have been asked to do some stuff in the last year or so, and I think it's too much work for me. I don't have that eye either to design things. I like creating with other people's stuff. But thank you. I really appreciate it.
I think it is. I think this is what I was trying to say. It's like what Shannon just said. It's a type of rejection. You do feel it. You feel it when people are watching your videos, when people are not validating what you're making. But it shouldn't be the only thing that validates you. Validation is great, but it shouldn't be the only thing. And I think you're right. Creating is an act of vulnerability. And the risk that comes with that can really be hard on somebody, especially if you have a tendency to take it personally. And I do.
But that's more related to oneself.
Yeah, of course.
That's to this. And remember the other day with Anthony when he said, I always thought I am the best to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You don't need the approval of anyone. You don't need anyone to come and tell you, wow, you're amazing. You have to know you are amazing. It's great when someone comes and tell you, of course, but you have to know inside yourself that you are amazing. It happens to me when I make a project and I think, wow, this is a masterpiece. And nobody likes it. I don't know why. It doesn't have so many comments, or the video doesn't have so many views. Nobody is valuing the project as I do when I feel it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, Nuneka, but that's real. I don't know how meaning in an utopian world that would be ideal. But what I feel is like, let's face it, the amount of people that feel like that, maybe you and Anthony's, but I don't feel like that. I doubt myself all the time.
What I'm saying is that people should work on that.
Right.
Because it's not only on craft work, it's in all the aspects of your lives, Like, maybe it's because I was rising like alone, and I did it all myself, and I grown like an adult too earlier. I was too mature for my age or whatever, that I never felt I need the approval of anyone. It doesn't mean I like, I don't have a big ego, you know me. And I'm very sensitive, but I allow myself to be sensitive to a limit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people hurt me. I already told you, some people really hurt me bad, but I don't allow that pain to kill me.
Yeah, I
I don't
understand.
know how to explain this.
No, so
No,
I
you're
know, but I
explaining
think
it
you
well.
have a thick. I think what you're saying is that you have thick skin, like almost like that. They say that
Yeah,
as a
you
trait.
have to if you want to be in this
You
crafty
have to.
world,
You're
you
right.
have to use your shield and wear it.
So what I feel like, I agree with you, but what I feel is that if you, to a certain extent, meaning that I think it's okay if you don't feel good, but it's how long you don't feel good about it. So let's say something affects you and you don't get that validation, because yeah, you should, of course, in an ideal world, you should be only validated by how well you feel about yourself. But truthfully, that doesn't always happen. So what I always say to myself is like, well, how long are you going to dwell on this? You can dwell on it for like a few minutes, or a couple of hours, or something like that. But it shouldn't take over your life, because we're humans and we're going to seek that validation from other people. At least I am. I can't speak for other people, but seeking that validation is not the all and be all. That's what I mean. Like, that's what you're saying. And
Sorry.
yeah.
You're probably like, what's going? I had to show Simon that his
Simon.
stamp is on my
Oh,
desk.
Simon. And Simon is actually a perfect example of that. He is like one of the youngest creators in our community.
Mhm.
So
I want to say something more about this.
mhm.
In this world, we tend to um, put our eyes too much into numbers. How
Yeah.
many likes I had, how many viewers, how many subscribers, how many followers. That's not so important. You have to remember the most important thing, that is, are you happy when you are creating? Does it make
Mhm.
you happy? That's the most important. Numbers are not so important.
I agree. I just think
Yeah.
that
But
I just
sometimes we
think that
forget.
yeah, you're right. I just think that in the society that we live in, we can't get away from it. So it's how we approach it. I'm still actually just made like one of those personal art days, and I specifically talked about this. It's going to be released in a few weeks, about not getting stuck on the numbers. And it's like, let's be realistic. We're all checking numbers. They're quite, or checking the comments, or checking how many likes, whatever
Yeah.
stage you are. But it's how we deal with that. So let's say we see that we don't see a project that is getting as many likes, like what Alexandra was mentioning here. She's mentioning that some project that she made, that she loved creating and thought it was going to get so many likes, and does it. And another one that is like, not so much, wasn't her favorite, gets the most amount
Exactly.
of likes. And you just never know, because there's so many things that are kind of like that like influence that. But what I want to make sure that people know, that it's okay to like look at the numbers, as long as you're not stuck on feeling bad about yourself. You should be happy just to create, not get stuck on the numbers, in the sense that look at them and use them to drive you further, to push you to like make that, to make you like work harder, or like reinvent yourself, or whatever it is, right? So
Yeah,
Mhm.
and not overthink, and not keep on wondering why, what I'm doing wrong, why don't people like me. That is not going to help you at all. Keep on working.
yeah. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Tiffany, I'm kind of covering your face here on this one, just because
Thanks. No.
it's so important.
No, I think I said this before too. I think it's important and I have to do this like weekly, or no, I don't want to
Okay, I got
There.
it. It's just we cannot see you because of it.
It's fine.
Good.
That I have to remember why I create. Sometimes my mom keeps calling me. Sometimes I just sit down and I take out my gel printing thing, and I make a bunch of backgrounds. Some of them come out amazing, some of them don't. Sometimes I create a card or a layout or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'm not posting this, or I want to redo it because I don't like it. But I have to always remember I enjoyed the process of creating because it brings me happiness. And I think that's important too, to go in with the numbers and everything, because if you get depressed like months at a time because you're not hitting those numbers or whatever, or likes and all that kind of stuff, then maybe you just should take a step back from social media, like completely, and sit down. And if crafting is your hobby and it brings you happiness, then get back to that without relying on the likes and comments and everything to validate you.
Yeah.
Say hi to Simon, that he was there.
Yeah.
We are saying hello. We just talk too much.
No, we said hi. I showed his stamp. This
Yeah,
is
we
his
did.
stamp.
We did. Anybody has any questions about the design team member things? Because we kind of got off topic a little bit, but I do like this topic as well. So I want to know if anybody has. We have about 20 minutes. We said we'll keep it in 2 hours, a 2 hour window, because I think Anna Dabrowska is going live. Finador is going live in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I have a question
Yes.
for you guys, and I can answer too if you want me to.
Yeah.
Or I think maybe it was kind of asked, but what is one thing that you have learned over the years from being on design teams? Like, what is one thing that you'll take away?
Wow. I learned a lot. Really.
Yeah, I learned a lot, more than one thing.
Yeah.
I cannot say a particular thing, but I would say that it really helped me growing in a sense of being an artist. You know, like it pushed me to explore, to do different things, to use different products, and that made me grow. Let me think if there is something. Anything.
Yeah, I learned that you really need to, if for a design team to work properly, everybody needs to work together and support one another. And I think that is not only in the design team, but actually in the whole community itself. I really find that when people are supporting one another, and I don't mean supporting like in the sense, it's hard to explain, because when you think of like a job, a lot of people have the competition between them, right? To be better, to design better, to do whatever. In design teams, you technically have that competition, but it's not exactly. But it works so much better when there is no competition, when you're just working and everybody's kind of working on their style, and not everybody's kind to one off the other person. And I found that was really hard, because
I'll be right back.
Yes. If
Sorry,
you're supporting people that you feel are like on the kind of on the same, if you're supporting people that are kind of on the same, no, sorry. Okay. How do I put this? So, okay, fine. I'll just leave it there. If you're supporting people like that are on your design team, which means that they were chosen, they were in that level, I'm not going to call it level, and you're supporting them, then that's more that's, you know what I mean? It's harder to support somebody that that doesn't want to be supported, like that doesn't support others. It's harder to be with people that don't support others.
Exactly.
So I found that really difficult, because some people did not want to support other people because they wanted to just feel that like they wanted the glory only for themselves. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
But that is because they think they need to switch off the other's light to be the most impressive light.
Right.
And that's not true. You don't need to switch off anyone's light to gloom. Is gloom the verb? Yeah, I think it's gloom. So that's true. One of the best things is to make team, to build a team together. It's not going to happen with everybody. I mean, for example, I'm in some teams that I barely talk to anyone, and they don't talk to me. I don't care.
Yeah.
And in other teams, they're amazing. And I also built my own team with Aditi, that is Nomadic Diaries. And of course, we are a lot. We are like 50 people, but some of us, we really have good relationship and kind of friendship. And I really appreciate that
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
it makes you grow. I'm happy I can ask my friend, hey, what do you think of this? I'm stuck. Can you tell me whatever? And this is good.
Yeah.
And Tiffany, what was you think is the best, the most amazing thing you learned from
Um,
that?
well, so I heard you guys talking about supporting people, and I think it is important because there is some amazing people out there that just have been doing it for years and years, and for whatever reason, they're just can't get picked up from the algorithm of it, Instagram or YouTube or whatever the case may be. And I not everybody is like this, but some people come to me and say, hey, do you mind sharing my Instagram? Do you mind sharing my YouTube? I'll do it, as long as you're not like spamming me with it. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes people just need just an extra little, and sometimes it helps them, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes, people are going to follow what they're going to want to anyways, regardless of whoever, So yeah, I will support anybody. I just wanted to say that real quick. And I think you guys are the same too, that you
Yeah, I think
enjoy
when you are
supporting each other. I find happiness in seeing other people happy. Like
yeah,
yesterday, or was it today? I can't remember. I shared somebody's YouTube channel, and everybody was like, "Oh, I subscribed," and then she finally hit that 1,000 subscribers, and because of her hard work and then maybe a few people that I brought, it helped her, and it brought me happiness to see her happy. And it's, so
Yeah.
anyways, I think the biggest thing that I learned, let's see. I don't know. I don't know if I should have asked a question that I can't answer.
you have a question with no answer.
I've learned a lot. I think Nuneka said it too, is that being on certain design teams really pushed me to think outside of my box, especially if I'm sent a product or I have to do like sometimes on Finnabear's team or even Nomadic Soul Diaries, like the colors, I'm just like, I struggle with more than 2 colors. So it really brings me to like step out of my comfort zone, and it helps me grow as a creator. I don't like to call myself an artist because I feel like when I say artist, I think of like a drawer or like a like a like a painter or something.
We'll have a discussion because artists.
I know.
When you decide you are an artist,
All crafters are artists too.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I feel, but that's a different discussion altogether.
Yeah, I think that's what I've learned is always constantly stepping out of my comfort zone and trying new techniques or color combinations or different things, because I'm always wanting to learn new things, and I'm always wanting to push myself to do better. Well, not do better, but just do different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any other questions you have, Tiffany? I know you wrote a few.
No.
No?
I think
Any other questions from anybody else? I don't know. Like the divine. What I'm just trying to read. There. That's for you, Tiffany. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's for everyone. I don't know. The "you" in English could be for anyone or for just for Tiffany. But I think that's the most important. All the comments are very positive, and this is why I keep on putting them up, because I think it really makes a difference. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that applies to all of us,
Yeah.
us three. I mean, of course, more people. I know there's so many in the chat that like support everybody. And I think it's important because not just saying like, oh, I'm here for you. And not everybody has the time or, things like that. Just because they don't share doesn't mean that, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, I don't think. Not today, anyways.
Don't try today. Keep it for tomorrow.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And
So
you know that it's kind of funny. These things we are making on Saturday, we have created a team.
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you realize that?
design team.
And it's amazing, and it makes me feel so good that we are there together, watching each other's videos, supporting each other, talking with
Yeah.
people, having fun. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I agree. I think
And
collaborations are huge. Sorry, Tiffany.
yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, I think people don't realize how much influence collaborations have on YouTube. They're huge, and they should be like really. People don't realize the power of collective, the power of a collaboration in general in the world is huge.
Yeah.
And I will. Sorry, go, Tiffany.
No, I was just going to say that I will collaborate with anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody like with 1 million subscribers or whatever. If somebody asks me and I have time to do a YouTube hop, and because they'll come to me and say, oh, I don't have as many followers as you. I don't care because I am always inspired. I can find inspiration from everybody. And I think just being there and kind of to tie it back into the design teams, like when you are collaborating with other people, they might be in contact with somebody else that you might not have contact with. And then they'll see you together and then they'll say, oh, those, I never knew of this person, or whatever. So it kind of helps everybody in the larger scheme of things.
And it would be
I find that not. Oh, sorry, Nuneka. Yeah, go ahead.
It would be amazing if brands and stores realize that too. How much they will win in terms not only of economic stuff, but I don't know if that's happened in Canada and United States, but here in Spain, small stores, they are like fighting each other all the time. God, people do things together because there are space for everyone, there are room for all of us, and if we collaborate and we do things together, it will go better for all of us.
Yeah. So I find that that's so I know, for example, the stamp companies, they actually collaborate together and they're doing much better because of that. But in terms of stores, as long as they're not in the same city, and that's a lot, why wouldn't they collaborate? Make a schedule so then sometimes we have classes here, sometimes we have classes here. Exactly. But it is hard because I've worked with many stores and it's difficult for them because like there is that rivalry between them and people like get upset. There's a lot of emotions going with that.
Yeah. Well, I think especially because a lot of the what do you call it, brick and mortar stores, a lot of them are going out of business. So I think for them, I think it's a little bit more stressful, I think, because they want it all for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think like it does make sense. I mean, I think the industry is moving in a different direction because so many people are supporting each other. Not everyone, but almost everyone, and that makes a difference because if the majority is supporting each other and wanting to work together, it eventually will show like a huge kind of rise in this movement, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Seeing how like the stamp companies support each other and how they like share each other's like work and just like all kinds, like just how they all band together. I wish companies like other companies were like that as well, like other genres of crafting, because I think it would be better. Yeah.
But let's hope we can only have hope that things might change. If we're all of us change a little bit within us, then I think it can happen, at least in the 70% majority. So
Keren, can you click on Nora Paulini? Because I want to say something. Yeah. You know that, yeah, I help you and I help others, and I always found someone to help me too, like Keren and Tiffany does all the time. And that's because I think that knowledge makes no sense if you don't share it.
Mm,
It doesn't make any
it's a good
sense
way to
if
put
I
it.
know a lot about photography, or if I know how to do something on YouTube, or how to mix these colors and get a good result. If I don't share it,
Mm-hmm.
what do I gain? What do I gain if I keep it for me? Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
And I
thing.
think that I had a hard time when I started teaching classes. I actually asked people around. I said, "Could you please share, like, how does your contract look like?" Kind of to know, like, was it, nobody was willing to share. One person. I still thank her today. Was the only one who was willing to share. I wasn't asking, just wanted to see an example. It's not like I was taking over their classes or
Yeah.
anything like that. But people wouldn't share. I think things have changed, not for everyone, but I think things have changed, and people are seeing a lot of us sharing a lot, that they are I think that movement is going, the supportive movement is changing in the world too, not only in our small community, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And I always look at it as like this. I ask people to watch my videos, to follow me, to do everything. And I do the same for others as well. Like, how am I going to ask people to follow me and support me when I don't do that with others? I try and watch as many videos. I always like it. I may not comment on all of them, but I'm watching lots and lots of videos. And I think it's important because I can't sit with myself knowing that I'm asking all these people to watch my videos, to like it, all this stuff, when I don't even take the time to watch one other person that's sharing their project
Exactly.
or, whatever. So
Right.
I think for me, I think that's important
Yeah,
for me to do.
I agree. I agree. And with that, we're going to wrap it up, right?
Yes.
So
We have 5 minutes to.
yeah, so we just want to basically thank you guys for coming today. We really glad
Yeah.
to be part of this community, and yeah, exactly. That you all, I can't make that heart properly. Why is it? Oh, there, like this. There. That you're all part of the community. Close my door. Close my door. And that what you want to be on, is that what you're trying to say? Okay. My daughter and son are both standing at the door. I don't know why. So we really appreciate first of all coming and watching our videos, our live streams, and supporting us, but also being part of it. Like, don't be afraid to be part of the community, to speak
Yeah.
out, to say what you feel, and just, because everything is valid. Your feelings are valid, your emotions are valid, your words are valid.
Yeah. And one last thing, that come join us tomorrow for the
Oh yeah.
marathon live stream. Still,
And please like the video, give it a
yeah,
thumbs up.
Can I just say, if people have YouTube channels, even if you're just starting out, I mean, I get asked sometimes, like, if I can help people. I may not have the time to help you from like start to finish, but the Facebook group is called Everything YouTube, and maybe we could share, maybe someone could grab it or whatever. But I think everybody is very helpful in there to help.
Group, yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that I
Yeah,
hope you don't mind, Keren.
Right? It's Everything YouTube is there. Also, my group is Keren Tamir and Friends, Creative Space. And you can just join. Anybody's welcome to join and share inspiration. Like for Everything YouTube, it has to be specifically about YouTube.
Yes. We're not just sharing.
Specifically to do with, like, if you got inspired with my products, my videos, or any of my projects, please don't start sharing just random stuff, because it really is not related. And at the same time, there's so many different groups that you can share those. Specifically, I want my group to be like a very safe environment for people to share stuff privately without feeling like they're they're being they have to share it on on a big social media. So
Yeah.
the groups are Everything YouTube. Oh, there is one.
Oh, thank you, Nuneka.
Susan, I think Susan shared it. Susan shared one, but I don't know which one it is. One of the groups. And either way, you can just search Everything YouTube and you'll see it there. You can join. They're free to join and to just share inspiration and be supportive and be with other people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
So they are the two groups there. Susan just shared both of them. So
okay, guys, time to go.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. If you want to hop on to Anna's channel, she's going to be on. I'll meet you guys a little bit later. I'll be on. Tell her I'll be on soon. I have something to do, but after that I'll come and I have to eat something. I'm starving.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
See you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, girls, for being with me also and in this journey. I really appreciate it. Okay, what I say, leave studio? Oh no, I have to end broadcast, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Bye everyone.
Bye.